Hey, so I want to touch bases on y'all about couples and their roles that they need to play in. So, from what I am clearly understanding about some people's is that some people's are always expecting something specific out of a person rather than ask for it. And it's understanding if you're looking for somebody with special, characteristics and attributes. That's what y'all say, and that how you have very high expectations when you're looking for it. But here's the thing: with not knowing the characteristics that comes with these things, the requests, let's say, it's like you're in for pretty much a rude awakening and a disappointment to have high expectations. And for people to have high expectations of you is like it's pressuring you to actually come through. And sometimes you know in your heart you can't fulfill those requests. So this is why people really need to have clear conversations with each other if you're in a couple, if you're in a relationship or a marriage. Because to me it's unfair to have those high expectations of a person that is never that way to begin with. This is why it's called having conversations and understanding each other very clearly. So, for example, if you're married to somebody and you're in 2 weeks of the freaking marriage, everything is going good, y'all actually starting to discover some things about each other. Is it wrong to have high expectations from your wife or from your husband to do what you expect for them to do without asking them if they do that? So early on to the relationship, you asking for a girl to, if she's that type of person who cooks, what type of lover she is, how she do things in the bedroom, how she runs the household, does she cleans, does she cooks, does she upkeeps herself and her man. If she's one of those who likes to take care of her man, who makes sure he's always good, who bends over backwards to make sure that man is comfortable, and who has, made sure he's good with everything. And what I've been hearing so far, not only from couples on TV, but couples in real life, that some expectations they have of their partner, it destroyed their marriage because they came in looking for something that was either impossible or it's something that that person doesn't have and they still asking for it. So here's my question: if you don't know very well who this guy is or who this woman is and how they are in the household situation, why put high expectations on that person? And if I'm not making any sense, let me know, because I think I'm making perfect sense. But when you're in the dating phase and you getting to know each other, I think it's only right to ask questions about that situation rather than assume this person is just like that in those type of situations. Because I made it clear to the guys I dated that I don't live in the 50s. I don't iron my man's drawers or shirts. I don't clean and cook and slave all over the house all day and bearing children. I am you could say a new millennial slash old fashioned type person because I've always been that way. I'm very traditional. I like a guy who comes home from work and he talks to his woman and he relaxes with her and tell her about his day like I would do with my man. If I'm having a long day and I'm stressed and I just want to come home and relax, right away, I don't expect for the man to cook and clean for me. I want to relax with my man and talk to him about my day, talk to him all the stresses that's been going on in my job, or, on the way home, if I see something crazy, I want to let you know about it. Now, when it comes to the household, I do expect for a man to be clean, organized, and well put together, just like I am. I don't live my life in a messy way, unorganized, and don't have like any type of structure. I grew up learning all these things. So one thing I learned is to never expect a lot from a man. I do my part and he does his part. That's how I look at things. And as far as splitting the bill down the middle, couples have these questions all the time, but some really can't get it together because some are too like independent or some are too lazy. So you'll get those type of people that say, why don't you do majority of the work and let me just take care of the bare minimum, or why don't we split things down the middle if it's not too much for you? And then you get those type of people that be like, well, I can split this, or I could do majority of this, and or we could do very little of this. It's like people need to get it together. What I was saying earlier about these couples, that if it was me, I'd rather split everything down the middle. It's really not that difficult, and to me, I think it's more reasonable and it makes sense, because if you really think about it, this is a 50-50 relationship. So this house is shared by you two, so you split the responsibilities 50-50. If the man insists on taking care of everything, then let him do that. If that's what he's comfortable with and he grew up learning that a man's supposed to do that, then by all means let that man do that. Let him be a man and take care of everything, and you take care of your part. There's women out here who don't mind that, who prefers that, and be like, well, I could take care of my man in other ways, as far as the bedroom goes, as far as, going food shopping or giving him massages or whatever the case is. So if I'm in that situation, I'm splitting everything down the middle. Like, we could both take care of the rent. We could both take care of the groceries and the laundry and clean up the house, if we're comfortable like that. Because to me, I think that's more comfortable for me in my situation. Or if the guy feels like he wants to take care of the rent and majority of the bills, I would take care of the groceries and the laundry and make sure this house is upkeep. So everybody has their preference on what they want to do as far as their household goes. But like I say, I'm more traditional, but with a twist, because I like to do things 50-50. You take care of half, I take care of half. And I feel like it's more easier to understand somebody that way and understand where they came from in life. And I think this is a part of getting to know each other. And if only people would sit down and actually have those type of conversations, everything would be a lot better. Relationship would be easier to have, and people will be clear on each other. You get a lot of people who's misunderstanding each other because they never sort those type of things through. They never had those type of conversations. So guess what? Now y'all both are in the midst of confusion and arguments, and y'all don't know how to solve this problem. And some people don't solve the problem correctly because all they want to do is argue and bicker all the time and pointing fingers at each other and downplaying on each other and what they do, rather than listening to each other, talk to each other, and trying to work things out. Another thing I like that I just recently saw this couple do is make plans. One thing that's very important to the relationship is make plans for each other, with each other, and understanding that it's called compromising and reasoning with each other. That is all about, that's what relationships are all about. That's what marriages is all about. Understanding each other's faults, understanding each other's downfalls, their ups and downs, understanding each other's personalities, understanding where they came from, how they grew up, and how they lived their lives before you came in the picture. In no way, shape, or form can you bombard somebody with a shitload of things and you don't know anything about them. And it's like you really don't have much knowledge of this person. What if this person can't come through the way you think they could come through? So now this falls under expectations. Have high expectations of the person. And guess what? Now you're disappointed because what you expect to happen, what you thought was going to happen, it didn't happen. What you expect to happen, especially in the future, is not going to happen because you don't put an enormous amount of expectation on this person. So now it makes them feel pressure to come through in that way. And sometimes people don't, come through. People just run off. It does make people run off and run away from the responsibilities that they have, and it doesn't make them want to come back. So I guess a lot of people run away from the relationships, and that's how relationships end. And guess what? The women or the men is heartbroken, they hurt, and they're confused, and they don't understand why it just went left like that and why that person ran off. So now that I'm hearing everybody's point of view, and I'm hearing everybody's situations, I have a clear understanding now on how to navigate a relationship and take it to where it needs to go, and understand what marriage is about. A marriage is a lot of work, is a lot of compromising, and I fully understand that. It's not like I didn't have no knowledge before. Clearly, I had knowledge. That's why I always treated my relationships like marriages, because I wanted to make that person get a clear understanding what I know and what I seen growing up and what I'm seeing now. I don't want to compare my relationship to nobody, and I don't want to take anybody's experience and use it for myself. I'm going to experience relationships and marriage the way I would like to experience with the man that I'm with. And compromising is what I do best, so that shouldn't be hard. So the easiest part of it all is getting to know the person, ups and downs, ins and outs, and everything, and take it from there. So y'all tell me what y'all think about it, and let me know down in the comments, and I will see y'all in my next video. See ya.